I'm back. This is Amy, and today we're going to discuss about more on gifting him. So, yung mga importanteng guys sa buhay natin, like our father, our partners, our sons, and just about everyone special that is a man in your life. We know how difficult it is, to gift someone na close sa'yo, lalo na pag lalaki. Girls, there will always be a lot of options, but for me, it has always been difficult to suggest. For men, I've been working with them for a long, long time, so I already know sizes, color preferences, and everything. So, for special someone, siguro I think it's really nice to prepare in advance kapag lalaki yung pagbibigyan kasi at least you get play around more options, more price points. You have to factor in shipping now, in importation costs and everything. I'm going to give you at least 5 that you can think of. I'm going to do my best to give you nice suggestions that will be source of happiness for the loved ones or for the man in your life at least. So, number 1 is siguro this one. These are pair of Dior oblique shoes, P23s as they call it. I got this the first time. I have a big size, so it's nice because I get to buy shoes from the men's section and the women's section all at once. Whereas pag may nilabas na edition for men, ang smallest niyan would play around size 8 US for women, or size 9. So definitely pasok ako dyan. 38, 39, 40. Kakasya sa akin yan pag for the men's side. So this one, I got it the first time when Dior got Kim Jones as his creative director, and this is one of the most memorable creations for me because this is one of his first collections. So before it came out, pinalista ko na siya that I want it. So I have this in this version, in low version, and I've collected it in different colors. But it's really more for men. So recently, they already developed for women kasi nagagandahan nga sila sa high cut and the low cut of this na medyo pwede siya sa babae and lalaki. So kung kunyari mag-asawa kayo, magreregaluhan kayo ng sapatos, it's also a nice idea for you to buy something like this for him and for her. Price point starts at around 60 and above, definitely. It's just a side note though that when gifting guys, you should prepare more, I think, because it's really more difficult to find things for them. They use finer materials kasi mas mabusisi pagka lalaki ang ginagawan. So, they all know that, the people that I work for. They know that when it's from the men's side, talagang different price points also. But when you're a girl and then you know how to dress up yourself in more streetwear-ish and more boyish looks, you put it into a feminine look. Pwede mo rin paglaruan yung men's line and then make it into a women's wear. So we can also make another edition of that in the long run. Another one that I thought of is this one, a pair of Louis Vuitton headphones. So they are earphones, they're Bluetooth compatible. I got this as a present before when it came out the first time, and I chose white over the pink because I felt that it was more classy and classic. We always have that in mind. I mean, at least for me, when buying something and when telling other people what to buy, to teach them what they can put their money into, it's always something that looks good even if it has been there for a long, long time. Logo is in gold, so white and gold. It's really classy and classic. Price point is pretty much the same depending on the country that you will buy it from. You have to always factor in there are professional fees, and then there are taxes that you pay, and then how fast you want it to be with you. That's another thing to consider. So the price point would definitely range from around 60 to 70, and depending on the style that you will choose, like they have the special edition now in black and red and pink. So iba-iba siya per color, per material. Moving on, I think that polos are nice to be giving also kasi as long as you know their sizes, then it's nice. It's okay for me to suggest what are the new collection, what's in, what's out. I can always give you choices from Dior, Fendi, Valentino. But most of the time, I always go for Dior and Fendi for men because they're more classy. But Gucci is always reliable when it comes to men's, lalo na sa mga polo nila. It's nice for their classic whites, and then the horse bit logos are there. It's nice pa rin to always consider that as a brand. For, Louis Vuitton simple shirts, Hermes also makes simple shirts for men. So, it's also one thing to consider. Price point is from the 30 plus to, up. Depends on the brand, the design, and the material that you use or you choose, whatever the brand is. So, always yan, material and brand kapag you're choosing something for man. Another thing, you're considering gifting someone that you love. If you're already into splurging, I think it would be really nice to give them watches. Because sports watches talaga is really a must for men, I think. But definitely the price range of 500 and above. So it's more of like the parent thingy to give this year as an accomplishment of making it, here till the end of the year, at least healthy living. And then as in a celebration, you want to give it back to your loved ones. Then I think a good sports watch is also another thing to consider for men in gifting. So, in return, baka ganun din yung ibigay sa'yo ng asawa mo, diba? So, it would be really nice. So, here are some options within that price range of 500 and up. Rolex, AP, Panerai. If you'd like, you can do IWC. And then also, from there on, the more expensive and more hard to find watches, you can play and you can discuss your budget too, or with your consultant. That would be really something special. At least you can make a story out of it when you give it to your loved ones. One more thing that you can give your loved ones, you can give them a bag. Siguro it would be nice if you start with a Louis Vuitton messenger bag, the District PM. That's a good starting point. It ranges around 70 plus, depending on where and what material you're getting it from. It's really a factor to consider when it comes to price point. Kung anong klaseng leather, kung anong klaseng canvas, kung anong special edition siya part, kung gaano siya kahirap kunin, that will always determine the price points for each of these items. Bottegas, kasi they're very, for those people who doesn't like logos that much, Bottega is good kasi it's just the Entresiato leather. But definitely the price point for Bottega men is at around 300 plus and above. So it's an understatement luxury. It's an old luxury, kaya a lot of people also appreciate it. You can also buy yung mga luxury streetwear that, from time to time, there's more affordable ones like Off-White. Then, if the people that you're giving it to is more into the trendy ones, that's another option. So, if you're not one thinking of your boss or someone from work that you want to impress, I think a nice tie would be good. The brands that I will mention siguro will suffice for you to choose from. There are silk ties from Hermes, Dior, Gucci, Emilio Senia, and also there are ties from almost all designer luxury stores like Tom Ford. And also, if you're giving them something like a necktie, you can also consider getting them cufflinks if they're your bosses, because cufflinks are really nice. Kapag nakita mo sila, they always carry that symbolic logo with them without overpowering your outfits. For men kasi, it's all in the details. So, it's either you go for Tiffany cufflinks, a pair of Hermes na cufflinks, Cartier. You can go for this kind of brands. There's VCA cufflinks also. So, it's more of a luxury splurge kapag yung mga lalaki, it's the most important details that matters to them. And lastly, and most importantly, if talagang more on the office side kayo or you're in that kind of line of business, yung talagang medyo serious meetings every day, a good investment as a gift also that is worth above 150, 100,000 is a nice coat. I would suggest for coats, number one, it's Tom Ford. Tom Ford has been known by a lot of men na medyo mapili talaga, for the details. Tom Ford is good when it comes to their quality, when you have to factor in the kind of materials that they use for the price point that you can go for. For coats, boots also, I would still suggest Emilio Senia because it has been tried and tested over the years for men. Maging RTW yan or made to order. I've known the brand. I've worked with the brand. And I've seen their craftsmanship. Definitely, it's a good brand to invest to and to give to special someone for the holidays. You can also go for a belt. It's the littlest of details that matter for men. Kasi yun lang naman yung makikita sa kanila. Unlike for girls, you know, you can do makeup, you can do everything. All the things makita mo rin. So, yun, I think those things are important for men. There are belts that range from Hermes, Gucci, to Ferragamo, all the brands you have. So, I think there you have it. That's a roundup of all the gifts not naman all the gifts, but some of the gifts and the gift ideas that you can, play with and consider giving your loved ones this holidays or whoever you want to give your gifts to. You can at least choose something from there. I hope you learned a thing or two again from this episode. And if there's anything that you like, again, just comment down below so that we get to be more interactive. I can include what you want more. And we get to, highlight whatever it is that you like. So you can be part of what I am doing. From time to time, it would really be fun, even when we're apart. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe this video. And of course, don't forget to ring the button just here so that you get notifications whenever there are new uploads or new episodes that I'm going to do in the future. Thank you, and I'll see you soon. So don't forget to spread kindness and love in these times. Bye! See you!